Assalamu alaikum. So I've had a couple requests and of people wanting to know the process, like step-by-step process, how I do dishes or how we do dishes without electricity or running water. So I just had a few minutes. I thought I'd make a little video and explain kind of how we do it. Hopefully it'll be helpful. So the first step obviously is get your dirty dishes together. I like to use these wash bins. You can get them pretty cheap, like from the dollar store or something. I think they're only a couple dollars a piece. Ideally, what I would do is put all my dirty dishes in one bin, and I would add some dish soap. And I usually try to use rainwater for my dishes just to preserve the water. So I wash the dishes in rainwater and then rinse them in clean well water. I also usually boil the water first to make sure that it's, there's no bacteria or anything in it. So that's what I'm going to go do now is go outside the door. There's another place where we collect rainwater, and I'll fill this pot up with water and boil it on the stove. So be right back. Alright, so I'm back with the rainwater. We have a rainwater catchment system, which I'll show you in another video. But so I usually just light the stove. This is a dual stove, both propane and wood. We try not to use, as much as possible, we try to just use natural, non-electric appliances. We wouldn't use it like a super modern stove. We would just prefer something older, more conservative, I guess. But we would use propane for cook stove and for refrigerator. Anyways, so I'm just going to boil my water. After it boils for probably, once it comes to a boil, I'll probably let it boil for about 10 minutes, and then we will proceed to wash the dishes. While the water's boiling, I'm going to fill this up with clean water from the well. We don't have a running water, obviously, so we have a gravity flow system, and there's a water tank that we fill up. We have to fill it up about every 10 days, and it provides us with fresh, clean water for bathing or drinking or cooking, etc. Alright, so now we got our good clean rinse water ready, and our dirty dishes with soap in there waiting for the pot to start boiling. Meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and get a towel ready, drying towel, and I got a few minutes before the water will be boiling, so I'm gonna go ahead and take care of my horse. I just came home from supper at Mom's, and I still need to put my horse away. So give me just a few minutes to put the horse away, and hopefully by then the water will be boiling, and I will show you the next stage of the dishes. Peace. Alright, so now our water has come to a boil. You want to be careful, obviously with this part, with handling boiling water. What I usually do is take the boiling pot and then pour it onto my dishes. And you gotta want to be careful when you do this too. One time I was pouring it and it kind of like bounced off a plate and splashed on my foot. And yeah, that wasn't a good situation. I had a burn on my foot for, I don't know, it took 3 or 4 days before I wasn't in pain anymore anyways. Usually I pour the boiling water over the dishes just like that, and go ahead and let it soak. Just let it sit in there for until the water is cool enough to where I can stick my hand in it. And that way, if you have, like, if you didn't do dishes yesterday, if the dishes are really hard or something, just letting them sit in that boiling water like that makes them easy to clean. So let's just let them sit for a minute and let the water cool down. While we're waiting for the water to cool down, I think I'll turn on the gas light so we can have a little more light, because it's kind of dark, I guess, in regards to this video light. And this is what we use for brighter light besides the kerosene lamps. Primarily we just use kerosene lamps. It's the cheapest light, and it kind of, you know, is good for your body in the evening. The circadian rhythms kind of help you wind down, etc. So we've always traditionally used kerosene lamps, and we like that. But the gas lights are nice for doing projects, like if you're canning at night or doing dishes like this. There's enough gas in there. And the kerosene light, then these gas lights are nice to have. These are made by Coleman. I guess like more traditional Amish families, they're pretty common. Like everybody's got one. Except I think Swartz and Truer Amish don't actually allow you to use these type of lamps. I'll show you real quick how they work. Pretty simple, and they do a good job. The problem is, obviously, the gas form is quite expensive. It's about $14 a gallon. And they take white gas. So yeah, this is about $14. Sometimes you can get it for $12. It just depends kind of on the market. But right now with COVID, everything's kind of higher. So what you need is an air pump, or you could even use like a bicycle tire pump, but this is the official pump that comes with it. It's got a handle like that, and so once if it's got gas in it, you just pump it up with air 30 times. Now all we got to do is light it up. So this one's already, the knob was on a little bit. You want to make sure the gas is off when you first light it, or just turn it on for a second, let it leak the gas down, and then it'll light itself. The gas is off. If you don't have the gas off, it'll just keep getting bigger and bigger and turn into a disaster. So once the mantles ignite, then you can, you know, when the gas settles down like that, then you can actually turn the gas on. And I usually pump it up just a little bit again after that. And it provides light, like we would use it for eating supper or doing dishes or something. And it gives us a little extra light. So I'm hoping for this video it will provide some good background light. New, those lamps cost around $250, but you can sometime if you go to like a farm sale or a estate sale, you can get them for about half of that price. But they, you know, definitely handy when it's really dark and you need some light in a hurry. That really lights things up for you. Alright, so I'd say the water's cool enough. It's still a little bit warm to the touch. By the time I get done, it'll be fine. I like to use one of these scrubby pads with my dishes. It's just kind of that abrasive edge. It makes it easy to clean. So it's just pretty basic. I mean, scrub them with hot soapy water. Make sure they're good and clean. All the food is cleaned off them. And I rinse them in the cold water to get all the soap suds off. And they're dry. One thing, if you do have a wood stove or if you heat with wood, like I do, if you're planning to wash the dishes, like, you know, especially in the wintertime, I would put a pot of water on the stove earlier in the day, and then when I'm ready to wash the dishes, it'll already be pretty warm, and that way it won't take as long to heat up if you're just heating from scratch. And also, obviously, the moisture in the air when you're heating with wood, it helps to heat your home faster if you have the water boiling sitting on the wood stove to put moisture in the air. And it also helps to keep the air from being so dry. Just a couple of tips if you're heating with wood. But I mean, it's really not rocket science. It's just a matter of doing it. You need a warm dish or a dish that you can put warm water in to soak your dirty dishes with soapy water, and then another dish to rinse off the soapy water. So hopefully you found this video helpful, and feel free to ask any questions or leave comments. I'd love to hear some feedback. least answered the question of how we do the dishes without electricity or like a running tap water.